Susan Collins is the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, and she joins us now on Bloomberg Radio and television around the world. Thank you very much for getting up in this lovely rainy day here in New York and joining us.
Delighted to be here.
Let's start with the elephant in the room, CPI. It came in hotter than expected this past month, and now you have yourself and others suggesting we're not in any hurry to cut interest rates. Markets seem to be taking this as a policy turning point. Is it?
I wouldn't characterize it as a turning point. So you're absolutely right that the inflation numbers that came in this week were on what I would call the high end of what was expected. And if you look at the first quarter, certainly inflation is elevated compared to where it was as we ended 2023. At the same time, it doesn't change my baseline outlook that inflation will continue to come down with a healthy labor market. I just think it will take more time, and it's premature to tell whether the elevated numbers that we just saw are a bump along that path or something more concerning. So I don't see it as a significant turn, but important to continue to look at the data holistically and let the data tell us what's really going on.
Well, the markets, to go back to them, have priced out everything except maybe 1.5 rate cuts by the end of the year. Is it fair to say that, unlike them, you really don't know what you're going to do?
Well, policy is not on a preset path. And I think that's important. I think there's a maybe understandable desire to have us map out exactly what's going to happen. But in the current environment, what's really called for is patience, being very methodical, and looking at the whole constellation of information, not just focusing on one data reading or another one. And so what I would say is that we're continuing to form our outlook, recognizing that there are uncertainties and there are risks. So I call myself a realistic optimist in that sense, realistic about those risks and uncertainties, but still, for lots of reasons, very optimistic that we will see inflation come back down and that labor markets will remain healthy.